The 1987.5 Chrysler Lebaron convertible. A distinctive automobile that offers true luxury and comfort in a contemporary, modern-looking convertible. With the Lebaron convertible, you can enjoy the relaxation of the open air. Or you can have the comfort and security of the rugged cloth-lined top. However, as with the best laid plans, sometimes things go wrong. This is where the job of the service department starts. That's right. It'll be up to you to diagnose and repair any problems that occur. But before we get into specific conditions and adjustments, we should look at the entire system at once to take a look at all the components and see how they work together. To do this, let's go over to Chrysler's engineering lab in Madison Heights, Michigan. What makes the J-body convertible special is that it was designed from the ground up as a convertible. This allows for a more rigid body, which ensures good fit and finish for the long term. In respect to the top itself, the frame construction and the material used are pretty basic as convertible tops go. Actually, it's similar in construction to the K-body convertible top. Another special feature for the new Lebaron convertible is this luxurious cloth headliner, which is equipped with Velcro for fast, easy attachment. At the rear, the glass backlight or rear window can be easily unzipped for ventilation with the top up. Also, the new design allows for more space in the area where the glass and top are stored. Whenever the top is going to be lowered, always make sure the window is zipped up and the well is clear of any objects that might interfere with the glass and cause it to break. When lowering the top, lower the door windows and the rear quarter windows. Disconnect the front latches inside the car. Then press the down button with the key on. When putting the top up, keep the windows down and raise the top until it comes in contact with the front header. Pulling down slightly on the front header, latch the top securely in place. As with almost all convertibles, the Lebaron convertible's top is raised and lowered by hydraulic pressure. The pump, which uses Mopar ATF Plus fluid, is located directly behind the rear passenger seat in front of the trunk. This pump in turn feeds the two hydraulic cylinders attached to the linkage located on each side of the vehicle. If for any reason you lose power, the system can be operated manually using the hydraulic bypass valve located here in the trunk. Just turn the valve completely to the left or counterclockwise and then move the top. Another feature you should be aware of is the water drainage trough located inside the car on the back side of the well. If this drainage area is clogged, internal leaking may occur. And remember, never drill any holes in this area. It is not necessary. When first diagnosing a wind or water leakage complaint, perform a visual inspection based on the information obtained from the customer. If it's a water leakage complaint, check for gaps or damage to those areas in question. And if possible, perform a leak test on the vehicle. Have an assistant monitor the inside of the car for leaks while you direct a 5-inch stream of water over each suspect area. Always start low and work your way up. Another quick test for water or wind leaks is the paper test. Take a piece of paper the size and shape of a dollar bill and place it between the windshield header and the folding top header. Once this is done, pull the paper out slowly. If it pulls out easily, without much tension, the seal at this area may not be tight enough to hold out water and wind. Repeat this test across the entire length of the folding top as necessary. You can further check the seal by using the chalk test. Take a piece of white chalk and mark the folding top header. After this, latch the top down firmly and raise it back up. Inspect the windshield header to see if the chalk made contact with the area uniformly. If it didn't, this may be where a leak is occurring. Another quick test is the sonic or pressurized air test. Simply pressurize the car by turning the defroster blower on high and closing the doors. Once this is done, feel for air leaks around the window seals and the header seals. If any leaks do occur, you can direct your efforts toward that area. There shouldn't be a complaint that can't be fixed. It's just knowing what adjustments are necessary for that certain problem. Therefore, it is very important to know exactly what adjustments can be made, what each of those adjustments will do, and in what order they should be done. The first area where adjustments can be made are the dowel pins. The dowel pins fit into holes in the header of the front windshield assembly. If they're not lined up just right, a side-to-side misadjustment in the top may occur. The second adjustment is the latch hook. The hook can be adjusted to increase or decrease the amount of effort that is required to latch the top. By having a latch effort that is too easy, sometimes this will cause leaking at the front header. And if the latching effort is too high, the customer may not be able to latch it, and that can cause a problem also. The third adjustment that can be made is the front-to-center rail adjustment. If the relationship between these two rails is off, leaking may occur in these areas. Also, the weather strip retainers which house the weather stripping can be loosened and adjusted. The fourth major adjustment that can be made is to the cam located on the rear rail. This cam is used to change the relationship between the folding top header and the windshield header. If this is misadjusted, leaking may occur at the windshield header and around the side windows.
Now, you're wondering how each of the specific adjustments are made. The first adjustment, the dowel pins, can be loosened and slid from one side to the other to perfectly match the slots in the header. Simply raise the top slightly. For demonstration purposes, we have removed the inside cloth lining. For your adjustments, this won't be necessary. Using a boxed-in wrench, loosen both dowel pins. Slide them to the proper position over the slots in the header, and torque them to 110 inch-pounds. If the problem with the dowel pins is not a side-to-side one, but a fore and aft adjustment problem, this may require an adjustment to the front-to-center rail, the cam, and/or the control links. If the latching effort needs adjustment, this can be done by loosening the set screw located in the housing of the latch hook. The set screw can be loosened with a 1/8 inch Allen wrench. Once this is done, the latch hook can be extended by turning it counterclockwise. This will decrease the latching effort, making it easier to latch the top. To increase the latching effort, rotate the latch clockwise. Remember, if the latching effort is reduced too much, wind and water leakage may occur. The best situation is to have easy latching effort with no leakage. Once this is achieved, tighten the set screws. The third major adjustment is to the front-to-center rails. The front-to-center rails can be adjusted to vary the relationship between them. This is done to match the curve of the upper edge of the door and quarter glass to the folding top rails. When the rails do not match the upper edge of the glass, the result can be poor sealing. A good seal can be obtained when the rails are adjusted to form a straight to slightly A-shaped line. A quick visual inspection with the windows up will determine the need to make this adjustment. If an adjustment is necessary, lengthening the adjusting screw or turning it counterclockwise causes the rail to form a V at the center of the side rails. Shortening the adjusting screw or turning it clockwise forms an A shape. As you can see here, the best adjustment in this case is indeed a slight A shape. If you're still faced with leakage after adjusting the front to center rails, perhaps the roof weather strip retainers are misadjusted. To adjust the weather strip retainers, open the doors and lower the rear quarter windows. Remove the weather stripping. Loosen the Phillips screws holding the retainers in place and move them from side to side as necessary. To check this adjustment, simply reinstall the weather stripping, raise the rear quarter windows, and close the doors. The fourth major adjustment is the cam assembly, which is used to change the position of the folding top header in relation to the windshield header. When a cam is rotated, it either moves the convertible top header closer or further away from the windshield header. Before adjusting, place the top in a half-raised position to remove all possible strain from the cam. Loosen the Phillips head screw and tap the cam with a soft-faced hammer to loosen the paint bond between the cam and the linkage. Once this is done, use the 3/16 Allen wrench to adjust the cam as necessary. To move the header down when the top is fully closed, turn the dart imprint on the cam toward the front of the car. To move the header further up when the top is fully closed, rotate the dart toward the rear of the car. As you can see here, I've adjusted the header slightly downward. Once this is done, retighten the Phillips head screw before you move anything else, or you'll have to readjust the cam later. Once the Phillips head screw is tightened, lower the top to determine if the adjustments made were enough. If the results are satisfactory, you can move on. Each time the cam is adjusted, the control link should also be adjusted to eliminate any tension in the linkage. To make this adjustment, the top should be latched down. With the top latched to the header, loosen both retaining bolts just enough to permit moving the linkage up or down. Make sure the serrated plate is not sticking in place during this adjustment. Push up in this area of the front to center rail joint as far as possible. Use caution not to pinch your hand in this area. With this done, allow the control links to find their natural position. Once this is done, torque the retaining bolts to 170 inch-pounds while still holding the rail assembly in the up position.
There it is, the adjustments necessary to make the new Lebaron convertible's top fit snug and tight. Be sure and follow the order we established here today. Start with the dowel pins. Move on to the latch hook. Once this is good, go to the front to center rail adjustments, then to the rear cam adjustments, and finish with the adjustments to the control linkage. Once you get a feel for each adjustment, you'll be able to go right to the area that needs adjusting. The Lebaron convertible, it's a beautiful car. And with our help, it can stay as enjoyable as it was when it was new. We'll see you right here next month for another session of Master Tech.
and welcome to this month's edition of Current Service Information. Today, we're going to look at a situation that has developed with the electronic compass-equipped 1987 Lebaron coupes. During road ready, there has been a problem calibrating the combination electronic compass temperature display module, which is mounted overhead in a console. Let me explain the reason for the difficulty. Just as with any compass, the electronic compass must be able to find magnetic north. Large metal objects, magnets, or anything magnetized will draw the compass pointer and give a false reading. Instead of magnetic north, the pointer is drawn to the stronger magnetic source, in this case, a small bar magnet. The electronic compass in this 1987 Lebaron coupe also must be able to find magnetic north when it is calibrated. That information is then stored in its memory, enabling it to make automatic adjustments for the variance between road map directions and compass readings, the second step in the calibration procedure. When some of the Lebarons were built, the overhead console bracket and mounting surfaces, here along the top of the windshield and around the pod, were magnetized, maybe from power tools or stamping of the roof brackets. It can easily happen. When the calibration sequence is started during prep, the compass cannot find magnetic north because of the strength of the magnetic field around the pod, on the brackets and mounting hardware. It interferes just as the small magnet changed the compass direction. This is the reason the area must be degaussed, which means we must eliminate the magnetic field using a degaussing or demagnetizing probe. You'll need a special tool, Miller Tool 6029 or equivalent. The tool is the Hand D-Mag Model 220S. The degaussing should be done on any new vehicle that will not calibrate with a build date before July the 16th, 1987. Manufacturing procedures were altered to eliminate the problem after that time. These steps are much the same as those provided in Technical Service Bulletin 08-1487. Changes in those instructions and what we cover today are contained in Technical Service Bulletin 08-1487 Supplement A. Both are indexed under Electrical. Begin by first removing the console mounting screws. There's one located inside the eyeglass compartment, and there are two others located under the map light lenses. We need to get at all the metal in the area of the overhead console, the mounting hardware, the inside of the roof panel, and the outside of the roof panel in the area above the overhead console. Now, after putting the console assembly aside, plug the degaussing tool into an outlet, making sure that the compass is at least 12 inches away. Getting too close with the tool can damage the compass. Then, slowly place the tip of the tool directly on the metal surface at the rear of the bracket. Now, without removing the tip from the surface, slowly trace around the bracket, touching all of the bracket's surface without lifting the tool from the metal. When complete, slowly remove the tool from the bracket. Now, do the same to the rear mounting bracket. Again, slowly tracing the perimeter of the bracket without lifting the tool. The outside sheet metal also may be magnetized, so we'll perform the same procedure here on the outside of the roof panel just above the console mounting area. Now, reinstall the console. Once it is in place, touch the degaussing tool to each of the mounting screws to complete our degaussing procedure. You should also notice that the display will now have an asterisk showing. This indicates the compass needs to be calibrated. To calibrate the compass, move the car to a level roadway surface, as far away as possible from any large metal objects, such as building doors or other vehicles. Leave the car running and make sure the map lights are off and the doors are closed. Plan on leaving them closed for the entire calibration procedure. Insert a paper clip into the slot between the compass and the US metric button. The display C1 should appear. The C1 reading will stay on for a short time while the compass finds its north directional data and stores it. The compass will then start flashing a C2 display. When it begins, turn the car completely around, 180 degrees. Then press the slot between the compass and the US metric button again. The C2 display should stay steady for a short time, then the display will switch to show the outside temperature and the present vehicle direction. Next, compass variation must be set. The variation setting will adjust the compass to true north, which is the direction used on road maps. To set the variation, point the vehicle to the north using a north-south road as a reference. With the engine running and the doors closed, press the slot between the US metric and temperature buttons. An N will flash, then stay on with the temperature display when the variance setting is complete. It's important to note that once the compass on Lebaron coupes is calibrated, if the battery or the memory feed to the compass is disconnected, the compass will have to be calibrated again. Anytime the compass has lost the data stored in its memory, an asterisk will appear in the display, just as it did when it arrived for road ready. And while we're on the topic of the memory, there's a final note before closing. If you have a customer complaint with the electronic compass in a 1987 Lebaron coupe that involves a car calibrated during road ready and is returned with a display showing an asterisk, maybe a week or so after it has been calibrated, it means the memory of the compass unit has been lost. If you find no reason to believe that the battery or wiring has been disconnected, the compass should be replaced. It has been found that some of the early 1987 Lebaron coupe compasses were susceptible to electromagnetic noise in the electrical system. Changes have been made in the new compass units now in stock through your parts depot. Vehicles built after July 10, 1987 have the new compasses. Follow the instructions in the service manual for replacing the electronic compass. So remember, even low-level sources of magnetism can interfere with proper compass operation. If you have trouble calibrating the electronic compass on 1987 Lebaron coupes built prior to July 16, 1987, you should degauss the mounting brackets and sheet metal around the console area. Road ready is a specialty, the icing on the cake when it comes to customer satisfaction. We hope this information adds to your skill at providing customers a ready-to-drive and enjoy experience. It makes an important difference.